Hey guys, Kerry from Simply Movement here. So this week we are taking a look at the psoas, and I'll just go up to my skeleton here. So our psoas is a pretty cool set of muscles. Yes, we have two of them, and they attach the upper body to the lower body through 22 attachment points. Some people even have 24. So it originates up here at T12 and attaches into all of the vertebrae between the bottom of our rib cage and our sacrum, as well as the lumbar intervertebral discs. And before it crosses across the front of our pelvis and attaches into the inside of our thigh here into the lesser trochanter. So if we have a cranky psoas, it can affect the orientation of the entire skeletal system, as well as a big neurological network of nerves. So in between the layers of the psoas is housed what's known as the lumbar plexus. So the lumbar plexus is a dense collection of nerves which innervates a pretty big amount of musculature in the body. So it innervates all of the abdominal muscles, the pelvic floor muscles, the deep hip rotators, as well as most of the thigh muscles. So it's really, really important for us to have a well-functioning psoas for this reason. So because the psoas has all of these different attachment points, crosses so many joints, serves and innervates this big collection of nerves, it's kind of a big thing. Yeah, it really is, you know, and I think because of the multiple hours of sitting we do nowadays and the stresses in our lives, the psoas can take a real beating. So today we're going to have a look at two ways in which we can work on releasing it. And obviously when it comes to releasing a muscle, we're going to be releasing other muscles as well. So we can never really isolate into one area. But we're going to have a look at two little releases today. So the first one more kind of for the, excuse me, for the upper attachment points. So I have a bolster here, and I also have a yoga brick. So if you want to come and you're going to lie down and you're going to pop the edge of the bolster here, or the bottom of the bolster. I'm just popping that kind of in and underneath my shoulder blades, and then coming to lie on top of it. I like to have a little bit of a head support here. Of course, you don't have to, so that's going to be dependent on how you feel. And when we come into this position, we're just working on softening down through the front of the rib cage, so avoiding this rib thrust position. So we're inviting the front of the ribs to soften down, and we're inviting the back of the rib cage to begin to soften towards the floor. And you literally just lie here and wait. And you just breathe into it. So you can spend up to about 10 minutes here, just focusing on your breath and just allowing things to begin to let go a little bit. Obviously, for the sake of this recording, I'm not going to stay here for 10 minutes. So that is your first release. And the second one is more down and around the pelvic region. So you'll just need your yoga brick for this. If you come and lie down, have the knees bent and stand to the feet. Press both feet into the floor to reach the knees away. And I'm just popping this yoga brick onto the back of the pelvis, so kind of in and around the sacrum. And you'll know when you come onto it, you might need to lower it down a little bit. You might need to play around with your positioning. But the idea is that we're looking to get the pubic bone and the two headlight bones, the ASIS, on the same plane. Because we're on a diagonal here, kind of in a sloped position, the pubic bone is going to be higher than the ASIS, these two little kind of bony points here at the front of either side of your pelvis. We then invite ourselves to move towards kind of a posterior tilt or towards a slightly tucked position, but without using muscular effort. So gravity is really going to do this for us. So the idea is that we begin to invite all of this musculature around the pelvic region to begin to let go, or notice if you're unnecessarily gripping in any area. And like in the last technique, inviting the front of the rib cage to soften, the back of the rib cage to begin to release towards the floor underneath us, and we're just asking ourselves, inviting ourselves to relax into our bones. Focus on the breath, and again you can spend anything between 2 and 10 minutes here. You could spend longer if you want to. And a nice thing to do with both of these techniques, and actually I'm going to show you a third one as well. A nice thing to do with these techniques is maybe before you do them, lie down on the floor just as normal, get a sense of how your body is meeting with the floor, and then retest it afterwards to see if it feels different. So to come out of this, press the feet into the floor, reach the knees away, and you can remove your bolster. I'm going to go back to the first bolster, which is this bigger one, and I'm going to come into that position again where the pelvis is resting on the back of the pelvis is resting on the bolster. And from here, I'm going to draw both knees in towards my chest and really become familiar with the amount of the back of my rib cage that's on the floor, the position that my pelvis is in, and I don't want this to change. I'm going to interlace the fingers and draw my left knee in towards my chest, or we'll just call it leg 1. Leg 2, I'll bring up into the air, and I'll just allow it to begin to sink towards the floor without changing the position of my pelvis. And again, just allowing gravity here to work with this long leg. And it'll begin to just open out through the front of this hip. And again, you can spend as long as you want here. You could also play with different angles. So maybe bringing your foot a little bit out towards the side or a little bit towards your midline. And looking to release in at all these different angles. And again, we're just kind of hanging out here and waiting and letting gravity work with us. Once you have done that on one side, obviously spending a lot longer than what I have here, you can reset your position, just check, okay, did I lose the position or is everything still in contact with the floor back here? And then go ahead and do the other side. And again, maybe play with those different kind of widths, maybe legs a little bit away from the midline, a little bit towards the midline. To come out of it, we'll come out of it the same way as we did for the last one. Press the feet into the floor, reach the knees, slide your bolster out and release the pelvis down. So 3 little releases there that you might find helpful. I know I've found them really, really helpful and have trained so much better and have had so much more energy after doing these releases. So try them out, let me know how you get on. Thanks guys.